welcome back to the Northeastern. What we're going to be doing today is looking at ballasting these two tracks in the bay platform. From here all the way through to the 2 points over here just before the bridge. So before I make a start, I'll have to clear the area. So first of all, let's move the DMU. Okay, the bay has been cleared. This is the ballast I've been using. It's the fine ballast, brown, especially for the platform areas because it's darker. Obviously, out in the country areas, I'd use a lighter ballast. And also, I've been using this hopper. It's a Pro's HO hopper, which does the double O as well, and it's ideal for the straights. Obviously when you come to do the points you have to do it by hand, and it's not very good against platforms either, unless you want the track to be moved further away from the platform. Well, that's unrealistic then, because you end up with a 6-foot gap between the train and the platforms. So yes, so this will have to be done by hand. So what I'll do is I'll make a start. I'll show you the pros of using this. So turn that around, pour a little bit in. Okay, what I tend to do, I tend to use a spoon to spoon it in, and that just stops it going all over the place. This is the easy bit. Let's watch this go along. Alright, at the moment it's put it on a little bit heavy. So what I'll do now is I'll just run my fingers through it and even it out. As you can see, just by rubbing it with your fingers, it spreads it out and evens it out. And do the same with this side. Obviously I could have moved the hopper a little bit quicker, but it's not easy with the camera in one hand. Okay, let's spread it out enough. Okay, to get round obstacles like buffer stops, I just normally spoon it in and spread it around with a brush. Okay, for doing in between the platform and the sleeper's edge, just put a little bit in there all the way along. Just so it gets in between the sleepers. Just use a spoon like that just to spread it around a bit. Right, and then just use your finger. Obviously it's not as good as the hopper for quickness. But you still end up with the same effect. Obviously you now have a gap between the sleepers where you could put a little bit more in, so you just put a little bit more in there between the sleepers for the two tracks, and just get a 6mm rule which fits nicely between the two and just do that, and it flattens it out. I'm not putting any pressure on with the ruler, so I'm just letting the ruler do the work. There you go. Very lightly. Right, so what I'll do is I'll continue with the rest and we'll go on to the next bit when I've done this bit. See you in a bit. Right, just a quick tip. You've come to the end of the line and you can't go any further with your hopper. Just get your spoon ready and just, because you've got a little bit left in there, so just get your spoon ready and just lift it up and then put it back in the tub. Alright, you've got a little bit left there, but you can just move that along to where you need it. Just a little tip. Especially when you've come to the end of the line and you've still got quite a bit left in your hopper. And then just spread the rest around with your finger. It's one of the jobs you either love it or hate it, but I find it therapeutic in a way. Right, just thought I'd give you that quick tip. I'm nearly there. Okay, for the bigger areas I've just used a tea strainer, pour a bit into there and just spread it around like so for the bigger areas. Okay, right, now for the dark stuff. Ballast. So what I'll do now is I'll just do a little pinch of it and put it between the sleepers. Just like so. Okay, we're almost there for the gluing part. Okay, I'll just finish the rest off and then we'll get back to that. Okay, the ballasting is done. Well, the dry part is. Now we've got to glue it on. So it's all that area there, all the way up to there. Looks nice and tidy at the moment until we start spraying it. Now normally if I'd have point mortars, I would cover these areas up with a piece of tape, but there's no point mortars in there yet, in any of these points on this side of the layout. So just a little tip, you know, just put a bit of PVC tape across there just to stop any water going in. Make up a solution of water and washing up liquid and I'll get back to you. Right, I've put the tissue on the platforms because I'm gonna soak this area now. So I've got my solution. All it is water and washing up liquid. So what I do now is just lightly spray it on. You should see it change different colour. Just a light spray. Right, what I'll carry on and then I'll get back to you when it's all done. Okay, the ballast is now soaking wet. I think it's the first time it's ever rained at Newhastle. But yes, it did lift it up in a few places. You've got to control the fine spray very, very slowly, otherwise you get the bigger droplets of water and then just spreads it all over the place. But if you get a spoon, you can always tap it down again if it lifts. Okay, right, so the next thing to do is the PVA solution. Right, see them. Okay, I'm now going to apply this solution. I'm using a small syringe, what you use for the old smoke oils for my engines. This happens to be a spare one, as I've emptied a bottle or two already. And basically you just syringe it into place, gently, gently. Now it just soaks into the ballast, sorry, it soaks into the ballast, like so. Right, there it goes, soaking away nicely. You can actually see it soaking in. That's the idea of putting the water solution on first. The ballast would just curl up and you'll have lumps of ballast. It'll just look like rocks rather than nice smooth finish as we got here. Right, so what I'll do now, I'll do the whole lot and then I'll get back to you. See you in a minute. Okay, that's that area all finished, PVA'd, 50% water and 50% glue. So just got to wait for that to dry out, and we'll give it a bit of a clean up. Now the point area is you've got to be careful not to get too much glue into the mechanism. Well, I've got a little bit too much in that area there now. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get a straw and blow the glue out of there, just to make sure that it doesn't seize it up altogether. But on the whole, that stayed relatively smooth. Normally get lumps and clumps. But, yep, I'm happy with that. So when that's dry, clean it up, test run it, make sure it's alright. No dead spots, because sometimes the PVA can leak in at the joints and you lose power to certain parts of the track. I've had that before. Right, so I'll let that dry for now. Might take a couple of days. So, see you then.